There are different kinds of gamers, and in the competitive scene alone, there are two basic categories. The naturally talented player, who can pretty much carry the entire team with a specific hero or class, and then there's the less talented and more intellectual player who has to learn from repetition and from mistakes made. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Poch here, and this time we talk about the importance of hero countering or hero swapping, generally being a versatile hero, and how you can become a leader of your team, even in solo queue. So in any game deemed as balanced, there will always be counter picks. Now the beauty about Overwatch is you can swap heroes at any given time during a match, unlike your traditional MOBA where the counter picks are made before the game starts since you can't change heroes in the middle of the match. Which makes Overwatch asymmetrical, which means nothing is exactly set in stone. So before you start a game, you consult your team and form a team composition, and if your team is getting destroyed because the enemy team has a better lineup, all is not lost, and you can still change things up. But the real question is, when should you be swapping and how to go about it? So in a team of 6, usually you have one tank, one support, one damage dealer, and the other two depends on what kind of strategy your team has. Lately though, I've been seeing teams go for the double tank and double support, but there are several other team comps out there that are definitely worth a try. You could go for the common Korean strategy and fill the two slots with more flankers. This is also known as a highly mobile team. Generally, you'll still need a tank, but the more mobile ones like Winston and Diva. So depending on what strategy your team has running, so does the kind of tank and the kind of support you want to have on your team. Since there are mobile tanks versus traditional tanks, and then there are mobile supports versus support hybrids, which are a mix of healing and damage dealing. So normally a team of 5 is enough to overwhelm the enemy team, and since Overwatch is a 6-man team game, the one man who can be played as the wild card, the guy who puts off everything the enemy team has planned for, the guy who switches to the needs of the entire team without much repercussions to the team composition. And this player usually has to be the most versatile, the most tactically experienced player. And well, okay, so you might be asking, but Poch, you're a solo queuer just like everyone else, just like the vast majority of players in Overwatch. How does this fit in your playstyle, and how does this help fellow solo queuers? Here's the thing, if you aren't some DPS god or tank god or Genji god, and by god I mean you're so good that you can win the game even if the enemy picks counters to your hero. If you aren't that kind of player, then your best bet is to play smart, be versatile. Learn to be tactical. If you have the worst reflexes, maybe you're the smart kind of player who can analyze things on the go. The Scott Summers to the X-Men, the Batman to the Justice League. Or maybe you just need practice and you aren't playing the game enough to get good. Either way, if you aren't genetically gifted with talent, you shouldn't be in competitive play. No, I'm joking. That's why they have skill tiers now, so that everyone can get into competitive play. So joking aside, if you identify yourself as this kind of player, you know what the team lacks, you know who the threat on the enemy team is, then you're probably a tactician, as most gamers are, and tacticians do only one thing to improve themselves, and that's to keep playing and quickly learn from their failures, to gather information, to learn the different strategies and all that. So you gotta be observant. Maybe you're a 30 to 40-year-old gamer and your reflexes aren't as quick as they used to be, or maybe you're a 10-year-old kid who hasn't really fully developed his muscle memory and his other functional stuff, motor skills. So you got to outsmart people. They say that 10-year-old kids are pretty smart, so I don't know. You have to think outside of the box, and which is why it's so important to learn all the heroes. If you're familiar with Fear from Dota 2, Fear is probably the oldest pro gamer out there, but that hasn't stopped him from being an excellent player. His reflexes may be slower than his fellow mates, but his experience and tactical prowess is what keeps him sharp. So if you're looking into becoming a better Overwatch player and maybe even entering the pro gamers scene, maybe you're approaching it all wrong. Maybe you should be the guy calling the shots. And I get it. Not everyone will have the balls to do it, but someone has to. Every time I'm in a competitive match, I've noticed that people are on the comms. They're connected. You get the little notification that there are 5 other people into the comms, but no one is talking. It's because either they're shy or they aren't the type of person who can lead, and that's what winning teams need. They need leaders. And mind you, leaders are not assholes who simply shout in the comms. Leaders will give you tips as you play the match. Leaders will tell you simple things like the Mercy hasn't used her res yet, so be prepared for it. Or the McCree has been missing, so keep an eye out for his Deadeye so that you can counter it immediately. To be a leader, you don't have to tell people what to do. You simply have to advise them of what's going on, and it takes experience and versatility to be a good leader. It also requires you to be calm and to be able to control your emotions, because I know a lot of players, especially the female gamers, who tend to panic, especially when it's overtime. So you have to be able to keep a level head. You have to be able to keep your emotions in check. So go on and watch some YouTube videos after a game that just made you salty, because playing a game with a lot of salt in your system, it's not gonna help you. You're fucking tilted, and that clouds your mind and better judgment. So take a break and work on your leadership skills. Do some research. Maybe do some practicing in quick play of different strategies that you want to try out, you want to conceptualize, because in 5 to 10 years your reflexes aren't going to be as good as the younger gamers. Anyways, that's a bit much. I think I may have babbled on a bit. This has been Poch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys learned a few things. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.